Okay, so you have just spent the last few minutes working on page 49 in your packet. I also passed out a review sheet. So I kind of, because we only have 37 class days, so sometimes 37 seems like a big number, and then sometimes 37 seems like a really small number. So to me right now it seems kind of small because we have I don't want to take a day to review, a day to take the test, and then like a day to go over the test. That's almost 10% of the days left. So I don't like that idea. But so instead of doing a review game today, which works for some people but doesn't always work for others, we're going to make sure that your review sheet is spot on so that tonight you can review for the test. Now, I know some people say, well, I don't review, I don't study. Guys, this chapter, there are some just those need to know facts. In fact, that's kind of where I want to start with this review sheet. What? I know, we will. I know you wanted to do the game, but not everybody wanted to. And we will do more games, I promise, but not this chapter. So we had some need to know facts. They are still your need to know facts. So grab your review sheet. What was one of the need to know facts that we should put on this review sheet?
Warm air holds more water.
100%. Warm air can hold more water than cold air. That's really important. What else should we add to our review sheet as a need to know fact for tomorrow?
Relative humidity is 100%.
When relative humidity equals 100%, there's a couple things we should talk about. When relative humidity is 100%, precipitation is happening. So by that, I mean, when relative humidity is 100%, it's raining, snowing, sleeting, hailing, fog, dew, any of that is happening. My second part of this has to do with dew point and temperature. What do we know about the dew point and temperature if relative humidity is 100%? Then when they're the same. So dew point is equal to air temperature. That is two different concepts that about relative humidity that will be on the test tomorrow. So if relative humidity is 100%, you know it's raining or snowing or sleeting or hailing. You also know that temperature and dew point are the same. Ooh, let me ask you about cloud cover. What do we know about cloud cover if relative humidity is 100%? A lot of clouds. What else do we need to know for this test? Take a look at your need to know facts that we started on the back. What else do we need to include? We should definitely talk about pressure. Let's talk about high pressure. What do we need to know about a high pressure? Anybody remember what I told you to remember? A silly, goofy phrase. High pressure is dry, cool, and clear. High, dry, cool, and clear. That's dry, cool, and clear for high pressure. What else do we need to remember about high pressure? The air moves clockwise. Remember, I said because the clock is high on the wall, that reminds me that high pressure moves clockwise. How else does the air move around a high pressure? Out and down. By the way, I'm gonna add a second box here. Wind blows. How does wind blow? High to low pressure. The wind blows from high to low pressure. And this is where that out comes from that Felicia added. So Cadence told us that the wind goes clockwise. Felicia added that it goes out. Here's where we get that out of. So you can see that wind goes from high to low. So the arrow is coming out of the high. Now, why do we say that air moves down? Because it's got a higher density. Why does it have a higher density? Because it's cool. Cool air sinks because it's more dense. And when something's sinking, it's pushing down. And that's where the down comes from. So I think I've said this like 8 million times. I only know anything about high pressure. In fact, if you were to ask me, Mrs. Ritz, what's the pressure right now? Is it high or low? In my head, I would say dry, cool, and clear. High, dry, cool, and clear. And I'd look out the window and I'd say, not dry. The whole cool part throws you off for a loop. I really don't want you to think about that one too much, but it's certainly not clear. So it's not a high pressure. I only know anything about high pressure, and then I just do the reverse for low pressure. So low pressure isn't high, dry, cool, and clear. It is wet, warmer, and cloudy. And then again, the opposite, it's gonna go counterclockwise. We're gonna get several boxes, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm helping you do better on the test tomorrow.
I have a very strong confidence in this.
Good. I have a very strong confidence for most of you because you guys are definitely participating a lot more for this chapter. There's been a lot of homework doing, which is really important. The more I went through, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but on your report cards, if you have crummy homework grades, I always make a comment about your homework grade. And I did not make very many of those. Way less crummy homework comments than I usually have to. And I really think doing the homework has really increased your understanding. So keep it up. And I will keep trying not to give you too much homework if you guys keep doing the homework I do give you. With what? Do you mean what quarter?
Spring.
Season, it's spring.
Oh, because you said that you were gonna put it in Fortnite terms, like season 6, chapter 2.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
You don't remember that?
Obviously, not even a little bit.
Because Zach was talking about how he wanted to go home and play Fortnite, and then he was talking about like chapter whatever. And you're like, oh yeah, maybe I'll start
I asked
ranking.
what season it was when we were talking about the chapter. That was like 2 months ago.
Was I here? Oh, like season, not spring, summer, winter, fall,
No,
like season.
Like based on this, like what season and chapter we're in.
Because in Fortnite, there's chapters and then there's seasons.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't even know what Fortnite involves. Like, is it a shooting game or is it?
Oh, yeah.
No, you didn't. Okay, well, somebody remind me of this when we're not reviewing for the test tomorrow, and then next year I'll do that. But I, must have been in a coma between this time.
Probably it's not even gonna be a thing next year.
Okay, good. Then we don't have to worry about it. All right, let's keep going. From our need to know facts. That was all the need to know facts that we had gotten to. So we'll stop there for a minute. That doesn't mean that there's no more to do. We just didn't have any more on our packet. let's start with page 49, which is where you guys, were asked you to do right now. And right away, we have a weather station model. So back to your review sheet.
My God.
OMG, Mrs. Red.
Just said that we don't have to do it.
No, I don't think those were quite my words.
You said we were done for a little bit.
Oh, okay, so I lied. Weather station. Where do we look to get, what do we need to memorize about weather station?
No labels.
Okay? No labels on the model. Everything is on the reference table, ESRT, page 13. Make sure you use it. And then the only thing that's not really on there is the whole pressure abbreviating thing. So for pressure, what does 0 to 4 get?
10.
They get a 10. What does 5 to 9 get?
Or 9.
Yeah, 9. Good thing we're writing it, Zach. Now you'll remember. You're welcome. Oh, because he screwed up and he didn't want to do the review sheet, but since we're doing the review sheet, now he'll remember.
Good, I got it right the second time, don't know what else.
Okay, now Zach, we'll take a break for a second from that and go here. What's the wind direction on this one?
Southwest.
Okay. Guys, be careful. I will tell you with the wind stuff, double check, are they to their, oh my gosh. Are they saying which way is the wind coming from or which way is it going towards? This stick, is it telling us wind coming from or going towards? This is where it's coming from. So just check the question to see if is it asking where it's coming from or where it's going. How do we tell where it's going if they don't show it on the reference table? No.
Just look at the things.
What about them?
Feathers.
That's how fast it's going.
Like,
Okay,
what
so this is where it's
yeah,
coming
what
from.
direction?
It's the other direction. So then just opposite of that is where it's going. Going northeast. Winds, so you can add that. Now, if you're ever confused and you're like, I don't know if they're asking about coming from or going to, then add a label. See how I labeled from and to or going to? If you add a label, then you can't get it wrong.
Wow.
All right, what about wind speed?
15 knots.
15 knots. Present weather, that stick with a little flaggy thing on it. That's smog.
What is small?
Smog is like pollution mixed with fog. Like LA has smog.
Do we have smog?
Dangerous.
I wish I lived in
Hmm?
LA. Where is it?
Where's what?
Smog,
Not here.
what? Anywhere but.
What's the visibility?
3/4
It looks like fog mixed with pollution.
3/4 mile.
3/4 of a mile. Remember, if you are to write this on the reference or on a weather station model, 3/4 has to be a fraction. Temperature,
43 degrees Fahrenheit.
43 degrees Fahrenheit. Dew point,
40 degrees Fahrenheit.
40 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey, since those are so close, what does that mean?
It's about to rain.
It's about to rain or it just did rain. It's really close to raining.
75%.
75% cloud cover. Pressure. Now, when they say pressure, they are not asking for 146.
They're asking for the conversion.
Yes, with
101 to 406.
exactly. So guys, if they ever say what's the pressure, they never want a 3-digit number because they want you to know that 146 is not a pressure. It's an abbreviation for a pressure.
106.
Precipitation.
They know what it means.
They always know. So for the record, anytime we ask you a question, we already know the answer. In case you were wondering, like when I say, hey, what is the wind speed? I already know what it is. I'm
Oh.
checking to see if you know.
Trying to see.
I am, yes, I'm definitely trying to trick you.
Hold on, go. They
You
know
didn't
what
fall
the
for it, good.
abbreviation
Okay, we're going really
is,
slow.
right?
So with this one, so we already put everything we needed to know for this one on here. So Let's see, let's start with, did you draw an arrow on the line to provide it to illustrate which way the wind is blowing?
Yep.
You did? Which way is it pointing?
Um, that one.
Pointing to the right. Why is it pointing to the right?
That's the one.
Yeah, because the wind blows from high pressure to low pressure. Notice. See how, oh, I guess I forgot to put the H and the L on the inside here, but see these arrows? You will have to be comfortable looking at these arrows. It was actually one of the homework questions. You have to be able to label the way the arrows move around a high pressure. So since well, let's keep going. Do they rise or sink around? Sinks
Out.
on a high pressure. Moves out.
Cool.
Cool, high, dry, cool, clear.
Clockwise.
Clockwise.
No clouds.
No clouds.
No.
No rain. Again, if you remember those 6 words I told you to remember. High, dry, that's the no rain. Cool, clear, clockwise, out and down, but that sinks. You got all the boxes from 6 words, including this side. Because all you have to do is once you know high pressure, you do the opposite for low pressure.
Rise and
I did.
or vertical clouds, right?
Okay. Oh, how do clouds form? I want like some steps. What does air do to make clouds form? You got it, Carter?
Oh, no, just stretching.
All right.
Precipitation of dew point.
Okay, here are the steps you should remember. Warm air rises. What happens when warm air rises? Well, that's true as well. But the key is that when warm air rises, as it's rising,
It's cool.
air cools. And then it hits its dew point. What happens when air hits its dew point?
The water goes out and it starts raining.
Water droplets form. Yep. So now I have a think about it question.
Wait, don't say.
Okay, I won't make you think until you finish writing. Or at least until most of you finish writing.
I already have that. I didn't.
We only care about what Zach has to say, Alicia. Sorry.
Already really, this is uphill, I know your feet hang up still.
Alright.
I sometimes get very confused on how to straighten out the camera. I shouldn't, but I definitely do. So here's my think about it question. For clouds to form, warm air rises, it cools, hits its dew point, and water droplets form. So then how come, guys? Explain why there are no clouds when it's high pressure.
When it's high pressure.
Wait. Remember, this was a think about question. Why doesn't everybody think about it for a second? So thinking without talking first. Why are there no clouds when it's high pressure? If this is how they form, why when there's high pressure, there's no clouds? See if you can figure this out.
What?
I'll say it again. Why are there no clouds during a high pressure?
Does it start slow?
What do you mean it starts low? Okay.
Because the air is cool.
Okay, so
So that it can't rise.
there's the key. What do we need to do? Air has to rise, then it has to cool, then it hits its dew point. If high pressure, which way is the air going in high pressure?
Down.
Down. So can air rise to start forming a cloud if there's high pressure? No. So that is kind of pulling it all together.
Literally too good.
Yeah, it was amazing. What?
Down.
But what are you talking about high in the air? Or high
pressure? Then low pressure, that's why.
That's why there can't be clouds, or that's what's happening?
That's how there is, becomes cloud.
Well, it's low pressure, so warm air rises, that's low pressure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job, Job.
What is indicated when the dew point and temperature are close? We already put this on our review sheet. Okay, so precip is happening. Yep, and you guys are fine with just writing raining. I just wanted to be a little more accurate. It means precipitation, whether it's rain, snow, sleet, hail, fog, whatever is happening if temperature and dew point are close. I'm gonna add one more bullet to this. What's the relative humidity? Okay, you do need to know both parts of that. Speaking of, what's the relative humidity when there's fog? Yep, again, 100%. And what usually happens when a front passes through an area? Weather changes. What kind of stuff changes? So temperature changes. Cloud cover changes. And I guess precipitation will happen. Yeah. Well, you were already supposed to have this filled out.
I love writing.
Hey, Sarah, stop grabbing those things.
All right, that's that part. It looks like we only did 2 of these. Ooh, I see review sheet material. I do.
No.
Air masses. We have some letters. What does the M tell us? Good point. ESRT, page 13. What does, but the M only in our reference table says maritime. It doesn't tell me what kind of weather to expect.
Isn't that one water?
Yep, that one's going to be the wet. So whether it's raining or humid. What does the C tell us?
Warm.
It's from the land. So land is not always warm. Dry. Yeah.
No, that's not true. Sometimes it's frozen water.
What does the A tell us?
Arctic, that it's cold.
Very cold in the Arctic.
Okay.
Because this is not in your reference table, Zach. No, it's not.
You gotta remember it.
You do have to remember that the M and maritime means it's wet. No.
God, I'm at the top of that.
T equals tropical.
Oh, I switched to P. Sorry. P is for polar, which tells us it's cold. And the T is for tropical, which tells us warm. So again, Zach and Carter, even though they want to fight with me, sorry, just Zach.
Yeah.
They are in the reference table. No lie, though they tell you what the letters stand for, but they don't tell you what they mean. So continental, that's the dry. The maritime, that's the wet. All of that stuff.
Yeah.
Where did the warm air mass originate? I feel like we did talk about this yesterday, right? I just didn't, I wrote it on the board. That's the Gulf of Mexico. And I didn't say where the cold air mass originated though, did I? So here's the cold air mass. How do we tell? We know which way it's going. It's going this way. So we look behind it to see where it came from. What's up here? Canada.
Oh,
Wait, we were supposed to say the worst.
Yep.
I don't know my geography.
What?
They will be labeled. So Sarah said she doesn't know her geography very well. If they want a name of a place, they would have labeled it. There would have been a label here labeling this Gulf of Mexico. They would have labeled over here Atlantic Ocean. And they would have labeled up here Canada.
How come you didn't label it?
Because I cheaped out on you.
But she was.
Which weather station? So they have 3 weather stations, A, B, and C. They want to know of those 3, which one has 100% humidity? Why'd you say that? That's one reason is cloud cover,
It's not the same.
same temperature and dew point. Perfect. Which one will be colder in the next couple of days? A, B, or C? Why A? Because the cold arrows are pointing at it saying, ha ha, A, I'm coming to get you. I did have to laugh just like that.
How about you shut up?
What direction is the wind blowing? See, here's where they mess with you. You two knock it off or you're out of here. Which way is the wind blowing towards? See how I said they're gonna mess with you? At C. So they want to know which way it's going towards. Remember, this stick in the upper left-hand corner
Southeast.
tells us which way it's coming from. So which way it's going towards is the opposite, and that's southeast. What about this map screamed low pressure?
How far the lines are spreading.
That doesn't scream low pressure. That would be, what does the wind, ooh, ooh, wind.
Wow.
We already said that wind blows from high to low pressure. But when is there, so Sarah was talking about the lines being far apart. What does that tell us?
Pressure.
That's pressure lines, but what does that tell us about the wind? What happens when they're, let's switch gears, when they're close together? That doesn't mean high pressure. It means
Bunch together.
when they're bunched together, what does that mean? It equals strong wind. It means the pressure changes really rapidly. Means the closer they are together, the faster the wind is changing speed. This will be on the test. So what about this map screamed low pressure?
The big L.
The big L, that's one thing.
Oh, didn't even see that.
Yeah, right, that's the easy one. Which way is the wind blowing? So we follow this guy, we follow this guy. You can look at that arrow that I already drew. This one, the stick is in this end, so that means it's going that way. This one, the stick is that way, so it's going that way.
Going counterclockwise.
Going wind counterclockwise. Not only is it counterclockwise, which way is it pointing? In or out?
Oh,
In. See how all the arrows are also pointing to the L. Wind towards L. And there is a fourth, and guys, that's the fact that the numbers are actually low. Pressures in the 900s are low pressure. There are some thousands. Let me show you the cutoff. So where they have the 1 atmosphere on this pressure conversion chart, that 1 atmosphere is kind of the cutoff. Anything below that is low. Anything above that's high. All right, we've got only a couple minutes with the fronts. Do you remember what I said about the front? The only thing you gotta be able to label is where the warm air is and where the cold air is. The easiest thing to remember is that warm air rises. So any of these that show warm air going down are wrong. There is actually only one showing warm air going down. 4 is not the answer. So we got to decide according to this map. First of all, which way is the wind blowing? Here's A, here's B. Is it blowing towards A or towards B? Which way is the front moving? Towards B. How do we figure that out? Not just the arrows, but remember the little half circles? They point to where it's going. So those half circles are pointing towards B. So I'm going to get rid of 1 and 2 because those arrows are moving the wrong way. Now I did already tell you the answer here. I don't know why I put a box around the answer as 2. Guys, what about this one tells you the answer is 2? Why is this what about the arrows? Which way are they moving?
Oh,
Counterclockwise. Yeah, that's what you meant. And towards the low. All right, we are running out of time. Let me just get you the answers to this last part here. Ooh, guys, you do need to know the weather instrument. Yep, so barometer. Barometer is pressure. What's an anemometer measure? Yes, so anemometer. So that's ANEMOMETR is wind speed. What's a wind vane measure? Yep, that one's wind direction.
Not wind. Just because I spelled it wrong doesn't mean that.
Yeah, you'll have that. Sling psychrometer. This is it.
What bulb is our bulb?
Yep,
What was that measure?
yep.
What?
Sling. PSYCHROMETER. Don't worry, these will be multiple choice. What's that measure? Not temperature. I mean, it is on there, no doubt.
No,
That's dew point and
just
dew point and relative humidity. Do I have to add a thermometer? Okay, you guys know what a thermometer measures?
yeah.
All right. Oh, shoot, we did not get a chance to give you the answers.
You can do it.
Oh, and here's the answers in case somebody still has their homework out. Which location is the highest wind speed? That's B because the lines are closest together. Which one's the center of a high? That's A because that's the highest pressure. Which one's the low pressure? That's C because that's the center of the lowest pressure. What's the pressure at D? Anything in between 2008 and 2012. It's blowing towards B. Counterclockwise is C. Clockwise is A. Destiny, that you do in the office. Yeah, I think it's just a bit covered up. Southwest to northeast, rising at C, sinking at A. Test tomorrow.